Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Ritu Singh and with me are my co-anchors Shruti Mishra and Arundhati Ramanan joining me from the Mumbai studio. Now here are the headlines that we're tracking today. Strong second quarter for Paytm. Loan dispersals tripled year-on-year to 9.2 million loans in the September quarter. As per the company's business update, the value of loans dispersed jumped 6 times to more than 7,300 crore rupees in addition to steady growth in payments user base.
After the latest iPhone, Apple will make AirPods in India, says the IT ministry. The first batch of iPhone 14 will be manufactured by December this year at the Foxconn facility on the outskirts of Chennai.
Online meat seller Licious forays into plant-based meat category with the launch of its alternative protein brand Uncrave. The unicorn startup plans to launch its plant-based chicken and mutton kebabs in all major cities.
KKR-backed LiveSpace earmarks $100 million to acquire companies in the home interior and renovation segment as it seeks to grow faster in global markets and hit profitability in 12 to 18 months.
Amazon takes the Central Consumer Protection Authority to Delhi High Court after the consumer watchdog penalized the e-commerce platform for allowing the sale of pressure cookers that did not meet safety standards. Amazon says CCPA has no jurisdiction to levy penalties.
Startups that are part of the Indian EdTech consortium spent 3,500 crore rupees in FY22 on developing learning ecosystems in the country, according to the self-regulatory body, which lists more than 15 EdTech firms as its members, including Byju's.
PhonePe founders Sameer Nigam and Rahul Chari invest in RuPay Prime Volleyball League in addition to picking up the 8 franchise Mumbai Meteors. Former Indian volleyball team captain Abhijit Bhattacharya will join them as the general manager of the new franchise.
Well, those are the headlines we're tracking for you this evening. D2C unicorn Licious has announced its foray into the alternative protein sector with the launch of Uncrave, its D2C plant-based meat brand. Now, the venture says this launch aligns with the company's strategy of portfolio diversification on leveraging its strong core brand equity. Licious aims to emerge as a market leader within the first year of launch itself and create relevance for the larger set of meat-eating consumers. To give us more details, joining me now is Abhay Hanjura, the co-founder of Licious. Abhay, welcome back to Startup Street. And you know, we've spoken quite a few times over the past 1 year, and you've always maintained that when you enter the plant-based meat segment, it will be the biggest and you will lead the space. So tell me, how is Uncrave unique and different from the many other plant-based meat brands? And what took you, close to a year to jump on the bandwagon?
See, 2 years in our mind was time that we spent in doing deep research on the category at a time where the market saw many brands getting launched every day with a product offering in the alternative protein space. We realized that clearly something is getting factory mass produced with different labels and different names. But what we stood for, fundamentally as a brand is, and it continues to be, that, Licious will never feed what it will not feed its own family and children. So I think for me and Vivek, that was the bar. If I can feed this product to my 4-year-old daughter, same goes for Vivek and his kids. And we knew that everything else that was out there was not good enough. So I think a lot of this engineering had to happen from ground up, imagining the Indian meat-eating consumer at the center of it. The problem with alternative protein thus far, at least, had been that, it was positioned and it was thought of, mostly, with an almost activist sort of mindset. And, no real deep understanding of the meat-eating consumer. So we believe that it is the meat-eating consumer that will give you the deepest insight in understanding what will make the product work. And I think fundamentally this is product play. So, wanting to not do a product which was loaded with preservatives and stuff, to not wanting to do a frozen product, or not wanting to do an ambient product just in the interest of distribution, and not wanting to do a sasta product cheaper than meat just because it will reach more people. I think fundamentally we were very clear that this product, if a Licious consumer eats, including me, I should get confused as to which is the real deal. And I think lots of first in world innovation went into it, Shruti, over the last 2 years, and we are happy that Uncrave is out there. And there's a daylight difference between Uncrave and everything else, and I'm confident of. So So yeah, I think finally the real deal is in the market.
All right, so the real deal is in the market. But Abhay, Uncrave's offerings currently consist of vegetarian chicken and mutton seekh kebabs, and the range currently is available in Delhi, NCR, Mumbai and Bangalore. Tell me what else will be on the menu, what products are you working on, and who have you partnered for your distribution? Will it only be, on the Licious platform, or do you have an omni-channel strategy?
In our ready-to-cook and ready-to-eat format, we learned that there was a great attachment to snacking, and seekh kebabs in particular, even on the Licious platform, do well. So that was first. I think the next set of products will include, more products that are inspired by the same culinary route. So from galati kebab to shami kebab, etc., are next, and then meatballs and stuff. You should see all of that coming to light in the next 3 months or so. So far as distribution is concerned, Shruti, again, let me make the point again. This is the first fresh, non-frozen, non-preservative laden, offering in the market today. So Licious is going to piggyback on the supply chain that it has built for its own business thus far to take this product in the freshest and its tastiest form to the consumers. This product does have a play in the modern trade chains in India, but that I think will be phase 2 after we launch this on our platform across all cities. So for now, this is how we are looking at distribution. We are proud to have the most unique perishable supply chain in the world, and this product will get the benefit of that.
Okay. Abhay, tell me, how competitively have you priced the products? What kind of sales are you hoping to achieve? Because, you've also said in the past that the appeal to switch to plant-based meat is low for meat eaters and vegetarians.
So I think the appeal to switch to plant-based meat is low for the vegetarians in my mind. The apprehension on plant-based meat is high amongst carnivores, right? So a bunch of our consumer interviews told us that, hey, you know what, I've tried the stuff that's out there, but man, it just doesn't cut it. So I'm better off without it than with it, right? And I think that's what gave Licious also the sense of responsibility. Here, whatever is being peddled in the name of plant-based, and then, the word meat is being put right after that, is doing injustice to it, right? So it was almost like, because we are the conscience keepers of carnivorism in some sense, we said, our consumers deserve better when they want to exercise that choice. So who else apart from Licious, to offer that choice to consumers? So I think that's how we are thinking about it. जो 100 दिन आप साल में मीट नहीं खाते हो for any reason, socio-cultural reason, religious reason, whatever, right? And India is a country of multiple ethnicities, cultures, subcultures. I think this is the product that gives you your meat fix when you can't have it, right? So that sharp positioning is very clear in our head that, strategically this is what it's aimed at. And therefore, we have a 3 million user base, ever acquired user base at Licious. So in the first year, the goal that we are going after really is, exposing 20% of this consumer base to these products, and then getting the repeat engine going, because that's the true validation of product market fit in some sense. And, this is not a spray and pray business that you'll be present across 20,000, 30,000 stores. Maal pada hua hai, koi aake bhagwan ke bharose le lega. So that's not how we think about consumer food in one sentence.
Okay. Abhay, like you said, you now house both animal and alternative protein under one roof. But are you seeing enough demand for plant-based meat products for you to turn profitable in this space? And what is the kind of revenue impact you hope to create here?
Thanks to my significantly better half Vivek and then the company that we have built, हमारे तो DNA में, हमारी नस में, रग में वो profitability day one से थी. तो हमने तो कुछ भी कभी भी नहीं किया जो non profitable रहा है. So I think as a company, even today we are an operationally profitable company. So day one से the aim is, and the ambition is to stay profitable in this business. When it comes to revenue, Shruti, I'm not as worried about putting ourselves that goal yet. Even with Licious 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever anybody would ask us, hey, how large do you want to make Licious? And in my mind, it was always that, I want to make Licious special. Me and Vivek want to make Licious special. And that's what we wanted to be. We wanted to be the most loved alternative protein brand in the world, and nothing else. With that love and product, obsession will come a great revenue. And, you and I can guess what it can be, right? So,
all right, Abhay, we've completely run out of time, but wish you the very best with Uncrave, and many thanks for joining us on the show today.
Moving on, in today's borderless digital world, Payoneer's platform streamlines global commerce for millions of small businesses, marketplaces, and enterprises from 200 countries and territories, leveraging its robust technology, compliance, operations, and banking infrastructure. Payoneer delivers a suite of services that includes cross-border payments, working capital, tax solutions, and risk management. Now, the company, which has seen a growth of over 50% from emerging markets, is looking to expand its India presence. And joining us now to discuss the company's India plans as well as its growth blueprint going forward is John Caplan, the co-CEO of Payoneer. John, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. You're essentially contributing to the growth of the Indian SMB sector. You're saying they don't get the right solutions at the right price point. So can you explain to me the pain point that you are trying to solve for these companies in India?
Sure. At first, it is absolutely terrific to join you tonight. I was really looking forward to this conversation. SMBs all over the world have recognized that cross-border trade is essential for their growth. And so what at Payoneer we do is we make it easy for small businesses to get paid and pay globally. And this is really important. An e-commerce seller, a freelancer, a service company that is doing business in the West, maybe selling their goods on Amazon or Walmart, a freelancer marketing their capability on Upwork or Fiverr, a services company doing business with companies all over the world, they need to get paid quickly, fairly, and into an account that they can do lots of things with. And at Payoneer, our vision is to make it easy for small businesses to do business anywhere. And that's the primary pain point we're addressing. Here in India, as you know, exports are essential to the growth of the SMB sector, a $400 billion industry likely to double, if not triple, in the years ahead, very soon years ahead, I should add. And so Payoneer is here to help small businesses make it easy for them to do business.
$400 billion industry. John, hi, this is Ritu. What kind of solutions do you offer for these small and medium businesses then to help with their export growth? And who are your biggest competitors in the Indian market?
Sure. So the suite of solutions that Payoneer offers really is everything a small business owner needs so she or he can very successfully get paid the accounts receivable or pay their suppliers, vendors around the globe. So really what we've established at Payoneer is an account that a small business owner can use so it makes it easy for them to trade in markets all over the globe. What we've seen is the most successful small businesses recognize the needs to do business in markets outside of their home market. Exports really are the sort of key to the next level of success for small businesses. Here in India in particular, what we found is we've built some very special and unique clearance services and reporting services to make it even simpler for an SMB here to report, pay taxes, handle the compliance matters so that they can be very successful, focused on growing their business, taking care of their customers. Payoneer takes care of the money part and makes it easy for them. Really, we make cross-border money simple, and that's a big benefit to Indian SMBs.
Absolutely, John. So you make cross-border money easier for them. You are a global company, like I said, with 50% of your revenues coming in from emerging markets. So what is the contribution from the India market, and how do you plan to expand your footprint out here?
Well, we have an incredible team here in India. We are, this week, myself and a bunch of global executives are here meeting with our customers, listening to their needs, discussing with them all the tools they need, the relationships they need in order to be successful. We're a publicly listed company, so I can't comment on the specific results here in India, but I can say from 2016 through 2021, our business grew on a compound annual growth rate of 96%. So our business is strong, it's growing. We have a lot of work to do to serve all the potential customers here in India that we want to serve, particularly the booming freelancer segment here in India. I think COVID really unlocked this notion that everybody can be an entrepreneur. And by taking your capability, whether you're a craftsperson and you're selling goods you make cross-border, or a accountant who's selling their accounting services cross-border, Payoneer's the solution that makes it easy to both get paid, be trusted, get the money quickly into your account so you can use it to invest in your growth.
John, while a 96% kind of a growth that you quoted, that is impressive. It is coming on a very small base, right? You've only just started here. Could you give us a sense of, going ahead, what kind of revenue India could generate, or a revenue mix rather, picture that you could give us?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I can't give you specific numbers because we don't report that way. What I can say is India is one of our top 10 global markets and is a high priority for us going forward. We are very focused on investing our resources, our energy, and our capability behind the booming entrepreneurship sector here in India.
Absolutely. John, if you could quickly tell us what's the current size of your loan book in India? Also, given that small businesses have been the most impacted due to the pandemic, there have been concerns about the asset quality hit lenders would have to take. So could you give us a sense of what the delinquency rates are like for Payoneer here?
So here in India, we actually do not provide working capital loans of any type. So we aren't a lender here in India. We do have a very robust lending and working capital business in other markets around the globe. But today, in our present form, we aren't a lender here in India.
All right, John, we've run out of time, but thank you very much for speaking to us here on Startup Street. We wish you all the very best. On that note, we have to take a very short break, but up next, AI-based digital companion for behavioral health, Wysa, will be piloting a Hindi app next year. We talk about their growth plans on the other side, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Startup Street on World Mental Health Day. Today we have AI-based digital companion for behavioral health, Wysa, that has announced plans for a Hindi language mental health app, which will also be accessible through WhatsApp. Now, ACT, a non-profit venture philanthropy platform, is supporting the initiative and is seeking a co-funding partner to propel the development further. The pilot is expected to commence in early 2023. And to give us more details, joining us now is the co-founder and president of Wysa, Ramakant Vempati. Also joining me is my colleague Arundhati. Ramakant, welcome to Startup Street. There's always been so much stigma around mental health, but the barriers were broken down by the slightest due to the pandemic, which kind of helped create more awareness around it. So tell me, how will this Hindi app help users manage depression and anxiety? And, basically, what does the app offer?
Thank you for having us here. I think the need for mental health support is obvious now after COVID. Everybody has suffered through anxiety, worries about the future, worries about health. And it's just that the supply side constraint is extremely high. So in India, it's very well known that there are less than 10,000 mental health professionals to serve a population of 1.4 billion people. And the supply can never catch up with demand, especially in a situation where, everybody is going through mental distress at some time or the other, and it's very hard to reach out and take help. So in a situation like this, we developed Wysa to help provide early high-grade, clinical-grade, early mental health support, where you're delivering a technique known as cognitive behavioral therapy, which is widely used in in-person therapy context. But this can be also being delivered through an AI chat platform, which we have developed. It's now been operational for more than 5 years. Today, in fact, is Wysa's 6th birthday, World Mental Health Day. And
wish Wysa and you a very happy birthday, Ramakant.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And it's been now 5 million people, so 50 lakh people across 65 countries. More than 13% of those have come from India. So we've already served more than 5 lakh people from India, but all of them have been in English.
Okay.
And so I think what realization we came to was, given that the number of people speaking English is such a small percentage of the population,
absolutely,
and the need is so high, we had to do something about it.
All right.
And that is how Wysa and Hindi has happened.
Absolutely. And the pilot is expected to commence in early 2023. But what is the kind of impact you hope to create? What is the kind of interest you're seeing currently?
So we have, as a Hindi-speaking population, obviously there are more than 500 million people in India who speak Hindi, many more overseas as well. All that is an addressable market for us. And we have, due to the generous contribution from ACT, we have a grant to help create the product. So deploy, adapt whatever we've developed in English, and then adapt it for the Hindi language audience. The ambition, of course, is to take it to a 14-year-old girl in say Rai Bareli or Kanpur and saying who has a phone but doesn't have access to mental health support, and be there when she needs help. And from that point of view, the market is huge. The monetization potential we see is also extremely significant, because this can be a huge public health play. Imagine a government agency who is struggling to create mental health support at scale, high quality mental health support. So something like Wysa delivered on an online platform through platforms like WhatsApp will be able to reach almost everybody who has a phone.
Absolutely.
And that's the market potential we see today.
Right, so big market potential. Yeah, big market potential there as well. Hi Ramakant, Arundhati here, and also happy 6 years to Wysa. But with so much stigma around mental health, it's essential to go beyond the barriers of literacy to address it, right? Like we've discussed, you're launching in Hindi, but will you also explore other languages? Is going vernacular the way forward for you?
It's a very important part of our strategy. I think English is only a starting point, to be honest. And we are thinking of other languages apart from Hindi. At this point, obviously, we've bitten off as much as we can chew. Hindi itself, the number of people we can address, the impact we can achieve is huge. This is also an opportunity, I think, to invite other people who can come in and participate in an initiative like this to expand support to mental health across the world and across India, starting with Hindi.
Right. Absolutely. So you're starting with Hindi and you will look at other languages maybe later. But speaking of breaking down literacy barriers, what's the understanding of mental health in tier 2 and 3 cities? Is Wysa doing anything to spread awareness of what mental health is in these areas?
So it's very interesting, though, that people are already looking for help in not just tier 1, but also tier 2 cities. So we get almost 98% of our traffic. We don't do any advertising. So everything is through search and discovery. Where people are looking for help online. They're using words like therapy, anxiety, and reaching out and taking help. We often get a huge stream of support from our existing users who go out and talk about their experience they've had with Wysa on Twitter, on social media platforms. That starts this virtual loop of referrals and recommendation. So we are actually getting users right now without having to do any advertising. And we think that is because there is this groundswell of demand, groundswell of need, which is creating this opportunity for obviously impact, but also commerce. And that is, we're going to tap into existing ASO behavior, into existing search behavior. And that's going to be the first stream of work which we will do. The second, obviously, is to use platforms like CNBC to spread the word, saying there is something available and please use it and please take advantage of it. And the third then would be a paid acquisition strategy. Right. But I don't think we need to get there given the size of the demand and the size of the opportunity we have right now. So you're seeing
big demand there, but Ramakant, if I could just quickly ask you, data shows that approximately 0.75 psychiatrists are available for 100,000 population. While startups like yours have been instrumental in bridging that gap, the lack of frontline healthcare workers is still appalling. So what needs to be done, if you could quickly tell us?
So I think there is a huge amount of work. We have just scratched the surface in terms of what we can do in mental health. So clearly, utilizing platforms like Wysa and offering early stage mental health using scalable digital platforms. So that bridges the gap. It's the first handshake, if you will, where people come in and start taking support. Wysa as a platform is anonymous. So in a large part, you're reducing a large part of that stigma for people to come forward. There are other things you can do to expand the pool of mental health professionals in the country. There's a lot of work going around in training frontline community workers, for instance, in delivering basic mental health support, high quality mental health support. There is also a lot of work happening in training communities to provide peer-to-peer support. So there are and a lot of research is going around in this area.
Sure.
So there are lots of different ways in which you can expand the pool of mental health support which is available.
Absolutely, Ramakant. We would have loved to hear more, but we've completely run out of time. Many thanks for joining us on the show today and wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
On that note, it's time for us to wrap up this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming on the other side, so stay tuned.